Hello, everyone. Today we are here with CreepsMcPasta,
Hey,
and you are a subscriber special, which means that the questions that have been asked to you were mostly asked by viewers. Yeah.
I didn't know that part, but yeah, it's good.
Is there anything that you would like to say before we get started with the questions?
Uh, Hello.
Mhm.
That's it. And it's going
That
to be a lot said later on.
yeah, there's a good amount of questions for you. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with them. How did you come up with your channel name?
How did I come up with my channel name? For a start, I came up with it last second when I was filling in the YouTube form, when you just sign up to a website. I had
Mhm.
one name in mind, and then last second just typed in this one, and it's stuck with me since. So the good and the bad that comes with it was from a last minute decision.
How did your persona come to be?
Had that one's another weird one where I think Mr. Creepypasta was the first persona. Would you say that, or was there someone before him?
I'm
There would
I know there was a few narrators before him, but I don't know if any of them actually had
that's
personas.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think none of the others before him had personas. He was the first one, and since then, I'd say he set the trend of personas, and ever since then, everyone's been having one. It was only till I think it was further than 4 months before I got mine done. And even then, it was just someone else drew it for me and I just used it.
How has narrating changed you and your life?
Ooh, ooh, a lot, actually. I wake up and it's the first thing I have to think about because I've always got something coming up. I've recently upped my schedule now to where I'm trying to put out 4 videos a week on my main channel. So yeah, it's always on my mind, and it's always something I'm conscious of, and always something I'm trying to improve on.
Why did you start narrating?
That's a question asked a lot that I rarely answer. The real reason was actually I was just interested in voice acting, and I thought I can't voice act, but narrating is something where instead of acting, you're more telling the story. And I thought, oh, this would be a good first point, a good stepping stone. I'll try this for a little bit and see how I can improve from there. And I'm still there.
That works. Were you nervous about posting your first video?
Yes and no. I think a common mentality when you post your first video is that no one's really gonna see it, and it's your first video. And I feel some people put too much importance on your first video. Most successful channels, the first video is never the most popular. It's usually something people sometimes go back to for fun, in fact, just to see how things started. But don't put too much importance on the first video. I didn't anyway.
What is the hardest part of narrating?
The hardest part.
Mhm.
The hardest, there is no real hard part, I'd say, because every little part of narrating is essentially easy. You record, you edit, you master, then you compose into a video, and then you upload it. The hardest part, I'd say, is the part you like the least. For me, that's editing.
There's actually a lot of people who don't like that part.
You know what? Mr. Creepypasta, that's his favorite part, and I will forever find him an anomaly for that. For some reason he loves the editing part and hates the lining up music, and I actually love the lining up music to cues in the story and stuff.
Do you have any advice for new narrators or narrators who don't have any confidence in their acting skill?
Uh, it's the same way I started, I guess. Just do it. In the words Shia LaBeouf, great man, just do it. If you want to do it, do it. And then after you do it, if you don't like it, don't do it. But without trying and without giving it a go, you'll never know if you really do like it. Because you will improve. If you go back to my first videos, which I haven't removed despite me really wanting to, they're awful. And even if you go back a year, in fact, I've got about a 4-week period where if I go back to a video 4 weeks ago, I will not like it, most likely. Because I'm always trying to improve little things. Even when no one notices, I notice the little things I change. And I'd say, don't worry about, wait, what was the question again? Oh, advice, yeah.
Advice.
I was going on a tangent. But yeah, my advice is that you just always look forward, never look back. Looking back is never a good idea.
Do you collab with other narrators?
Do I collab? I have done, yeah, and I do sometimes ask people for help. In fact, yeah, it's been a little hype. I've asked Madame for some help, although she replied, and I've left it about 5 days to reply back. I am that bad with communication. Like, yeah, I'm terrible with communication, but she might be in a future video. You never know.
What is the best way to contact you for a collab request, and what are the terms and rules for collabing with you?
There is no best way. I feel bad in saying because I do have a problem with communication, and I have a problem with individually talking to people. I mean, I reply to people on Twitter. I reply to asks on Tumblr, but the amount that slips through the net is surprisingly high, so there is no best way to contact me, but I guess email would be the best. But even then, I'm terrible with emails. And the terms, I'd say there are no terms, but I have such little free time. Like before this interview, I just finished the 50-minute recording. Before that, I was getting ready for the recording. Before that, I finalized tonight's video, which just came out. And before that, I just woke up. So I sometimes don't find time for others, which isn't the best, but I do try and work on it.
Do you have a warm-up routine you do before you narrate?
Some singing. If you want to look up some good warm-up routines, singing warm-ups are good because they flex your range. So your lip trembles, your little brrr, and you do scales with that. And I just straight up go in my kitchen, turn on the kettle to make a drink, and jump around the kitchen doing weird noises, singing Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, a lot of Justins, Or sometimes Hey from, that Hey, yeah, yeah. Find a song with good range. Justin Bieber's Boyfriend, amazing warm-up.
Okay. What recording equipment and programs do you use?
Ooh, what programs? I probably can't name them. I'm terrible with them. The microphone I use is, let me look at the box. It's a borrowed microphone for 2 years. It's an AKG, hang on, C214. I wouldn't recommend buying it because it's very expensive. I wouldn't recommend buying it for hobby anyway. I have to use let's move this book. I use a Focusrite TI2 as a audio interface. In programs, I use Sony Vegas to compile the video. And if I do the audio myself, I record with Audacity, amazing free program, by the way. And I isolate sounds with Isotope, spelled with a Z. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Do you have any advice or tips for editing?
Find someone else to do it. No, for editing, I don't know. It's one of the most. I said it before. In fact, it was in the Patreon video. It's the most straightforward thing you can do, but it's the most necessary thing. But it's the only job that can be passed on. But I'd say just take your time, because any mistake you slip through the net, which I have done recently, actually, it's kind of annoying. It's immortalized when you upload it, unless you take it down and re-upload it. But that's not good for your channel. So my best advice: be careful of mistakes.
How do you choose the stories you narrate?
How have no real set thing. Although the one thing I will say I'm conscious of is I try not to narrate two stories of a similar subject within the week. Like if I do one about a disappearance, the next one will be about a spooky monster, and the next one will be about a ritual. I try to always change things on the next one, and I've done things I've repeated a few subjects before, but I don't like doing that. And I don't think people like seeing that. I think it's nice to keep things fresh.
What creepypasta will you not narrate?
What will I not narrate? Oh, anything's on the table. I don't know. There's some. I've kept my channel rather. Why is my computer falling asleep? I've kept my channel rather PG, actually. You know, like I redact the nasty, naughty words that people say. And I've tried keeping it quite mildly friendly, although there are the gruesome horror bits. But the ones that are just straight up not safe for work, I tend to avoid. In fact, that answers the previous question too. Although I would say not. Never say never. Justin Bieber.
What creepypasta do you want to narrate, but are having trouble doing so?
There is one. There is one. There is one. I read it before I was a narrator, which I didn't read too many before I was a narrator, but it was my favorite one. It's called Trust. It's amazing. It's basically like Saw the movie, except good.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
Oh, you know it. It's good. It's a good one. I don't want to ruin it. And Mr. Creepypasta did it. I'm like, darn, diggity darn. And I think he did it with Creepypasta Jr. as well. So I was like, both of them in it. Oh man, if I do it, I'm gonna have to top it. And since then, I've never had. If I do a story that I know someone else has done, I try to think, what can I do slightly differently, or what can I add to it that they haven't done? So it's almost like a reboot, but without. Sorry, I'm choking on spit. Without stepping on other people's toes, and that's the one I've never been able to go. You know, I'll get this person in it, and I'll do this differently. But it's one I've always wanted to do.
What is your favorite creepypasta you have narrated?
I get asked this a lot, and it's always a similar answer. Any story within 4 weeks, like I said, there's a 4-week grace period of I'll listen to it and go, yeah, I did okay in this one. And then past it, I'm like, nah, I did this so wrong. They had, what did I really do that? For some reason, I don't like my older narrations, although there are some old ones which I did enjoy, like, I can't think of 1999, that was a lot of work. But even then, no, there's loads of stuff I'll change in it. No, there is no favorites. Never a favorite. I'm always trying to make the perfect one.
Is there a creepypasta that scares you?
Jeff the Killer, straight up. But is there one that scares? No, none of them really scare me. I've gotten so, I don't want to sound like edgy and cool and stuff, but I really desensitized to horror. And when one does scare me, it doesn't take me long to get over it.
What creepypasta makes you laugh?
Jeff the Killer. What creepypasta makes me laugh? None of them really. They're not really made to make you laugh. There's been ones that get that slight chuckle where it's like, oh, he mentioned this. That's kind of funny, but it's never laugh out loud funny.
Well, you have your troll pastas, or as people call them, the crappy pastas, which are meant to be funny. You do have those.
No, but it says, is there a creepypasta that makes you laugh? That is changing the question. No, there are some troll pastas that do make me chuckle, like the ones that just absolutely pull on tropes. In fact, there was once. Oh, me and Creepypasta Jr. did this. There was once a Mad Lib. You know what Mad Lib is? Mm-hmm. It's called ad libs sometimes.
Yeah.
Where it was an ad lib lost episode, and it had underlines where the generic section is. So it's like, I was an intern working at blank. And it's brilliant. That was a lot of fun.
Which creepypasta would you like to be? Sorry. Which creepypasta would you like to see turned into a full-length novel?
I'd kind of say none of them. A lot of the ones that are short tend to be short for good reason. Like there's, like, let's just say straight up, Russian Sleep Experiment is one of the best stories written. It's such a classic. It's so iconic. It's perfect. But to expand it into a book wouldn't really do it any justice. A lot of the stories like that don't tend to. I don't think would make a good book. And the ones that are books are already books. Unless, I don't know, I guess 1999, when it's finished, it would be long enough and good enough to make a book.
Do you
But, you know, that
remember?
one's.
Sorry,
Okay.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, yeah, that one's long enough and good enough to make a book if it's because it's stretching out.
Do you remember what the very first creepypasta you read was?
The first one I read was Pokemon Creepy Black. The name was changed since a real Pokemon Black came out. And yeah, that was before I knew what creepypastas were. My friend just came up, went on my computer, typed in the name, was like, read this. And it took me like a year because I can't read very well. And when I was finished, I was like, okay, that was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
But that was before. I didn't know it was a creepypasta. It was only afterwards when I learned about creepypastas. In fact, yeah, that story leads to so many different stories. I don't want to ramble on, but yeah, that's a iconic story for me.
What creepypasta has made an impact on your life?
I guess it's that one. That one's the one that led to so many different things. Like it was the first one I read, and I guess I'll carry on to the next bit. The way I found creepypasta narrations was through what's it called now? It was like a meme website for Pokemon. That sounds a stupid thing to admit to, but I was looking through that, and there was a reading mysteriously of Pokemon Creepy Black by Mr. Creepypasta. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I subscribed to him, listened through some of his stuff. I'm like, yeah, that was terrifying. And that's when I learned of it, but I never did it straight away. I didn't just listen to him and go, no, I want to do that now. It was only till I started looking into voice acting that I was like, oh, crap, I want to voice act. Yeah, going back to the first question, I want to voice act, but I want to do something lower first, like something easier. And then my mind went to his narrations, like something that's more read than acted, although there is acting involved, obviously. And yes, that story.
If you could do an audiobook for any book, which would you choose?
Any book.
Mm-hmm.
An audiobook of any book. I'm really getting into fantasy lately, strange enough. I'd say, I don't know, there's already audiobooks, and there's not many big books or cool books that haven't already got audiobooks, but if I had to do one over, I'd say the Witcher series. They're actually really interesting.
Do you have any future plans for your channel?
Loads. Many plans. I plan so much. A lot of the plans don't even come to fruition, but I always like to have little ideas tucked aside. But any future plans? None that I can say right now, because at the moment, the latest plan is already in effect, which is those. Have you seen them? The urban legend profiles. The one just came out today. Sorry to date the video, but yeah, the one just came out today. That's a little extra one I'm doing between my normal creepypasta uploads, and also there's horror lists that I did on my side channel, and were well received there. So I moved them to the main channel because it's very fitting. They're the latest too.
Would you like to tell us about the mobile app for your channel?
The app, yes, there is an app, a CreepsMcPasta app. Just go in the App Store, unless you have a Windows phone, because for some reason people don't like making things so that. I didn't make it myself, by the way. It was a company, and I've been asking about it. But anyway, yeah, just if you have Android, iPhone, tablet, I think TV as well, those TV apps, you can get the CreepsMcPasta app, which is great to listen to, because I realized, like, when adding things up, over 50% of my viewers are on either a mobile or tablet. So I thought it was a really great way for, because some people criticized it when it came out saying, why not just use the YouTube app? And I'm like, well, no, this is a YouTube app for me if you want to see my stuff. It's really good if you enjoy my stories and my narrations. And I recently just updated it with playlists and also my side channel stuff on there as well, because that's also kind of growing as well, which is quite good.
Do people have to pay for it?
Oh no, it's free. It is nice and free. I didn't want to charge for it.
And is it already out?
Yes, it came out a few weeks ago now, and in those few weeks, I've been slowly perfecting it. When it came out, it wasn't like some of the colors were off, like it was hard to read certain things because I I I had to experiment. This is the first app I've made because I made it on a builder basically. So I did make it, but I didn't build it. No, sorry, I built it, but I didn't make it. And yeah, it's really good now. Like now is the best time to get it.
What do you hope to do after you're done narrating?
The dream would be voice acting, but I at the moment I'm nowhere near anywhere as good at voice acting as I want to be. I haven't changed in the last few years. My narrating style slowly turned into my talking style, so I'm not improving. But when I'm done, I'm hoping to either um, settle down with something else or try carry on with it. I guess I like my channel is a building up resume I can apply.
If you had never been a narrator, what would you be doing now?
That is a hard one to answer because the only job I had before this was Blockbusters, and Blockbusters is sadly gone. I know, I'm not crying, I swear. But what would I be doing? I guess I'd be doing something else. I mean, one thing I had a bit of an existential crisis, although that's an over exaggeration, was because I thought, oh, I think I accidentally became popular in narration. Because I feel like I did in a sense, because I did it very early back before it was this big booming trend when it shot up. And because of that, I already had an established channel for when people were looking for it. And even now, it's still a growing thing. People are getting into creepypastas and they keep finding me. And I do kind of feel bad in the sense I wish I could just press a button and spread it out sometimes, but I on my side channel that grew as well, and that was never because of my popularity. Because my side channel never grew because it was CreepsMcPasta. I found because when it was linked to my main channel, it only ever got to a small amount of subscribers. It was only because I started a new show on it that it got popular on its own. I don't think people there know of my main channel. But yeah, I think I would have tried to find something else, or I would have done because YouTube is fun. I always like the idea of it, so I would have probably tried to find something else on here. Cabot, you okay? Cabot, have I died? Was it me? Oh no! We'll wait for it to come back. It's fine. I didn't know it's still live. I can just hear me clicking on the live stream. It is hijacked. I just realized. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat now. People are like, hijacked. It's still live. I can hijack. I can do whatever I want. But seriously, where is she? I think she's gone offline. So for now, I should probably tell a story. I can expand on some of the things, unless people want to. Oh yeah, no, actually, chat right now, straight up chat. Ask questions live. You guys interview me. Let's see how that goes for a little bit. So I got to give that a few seconds for you guys to receive that amazing message. But when you do, we're gonna have some amazing questions. I don't have to hold in that fart. Oh dear. I hijacked my own interview. I know. This is brilliant. It's not brilliant, by the way. I feel bad for her. I'm pretty sure she can edit me out. She's just disappeared offline on Skype, so I'm guessing the computer just crashed. But I'll give it a few minutes before. If she doesn't come back soon, I will have to end it. I can't just take over an entire interview like this. But if you guys have any questions, why don't I shower by my hat is blue? I haven't showered in almost a week again now. And I will shower soon. I do feel like I need to. But the reason I don't is because I always forget. I also hate my shower. Do I watch Fear the Walking Dead? Oh, has that started? I saw Fear the Walking Dead was trending on Twitter, and I did not know if it had started. No, I can't sing. I don't want to just sing. Why do I have a Pikachu mask? Because someone drew me with a Pikachu. Yeah, going back to the persona question. So when I said someone just drew it for me, it was a Pikachu mask. Guy with a tuxedo and red bow tie. I absolutely hated it, funny enough. I did not like it. Everyone else liked it, and that's how it stuck. And the reason it's a Pikachu mask is... Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't even answer the question. The reason it was a Pikachu mask was because I had a Pikachu onesie, and I just kept playing around with that, like taking pictures of myself, just doing funny video calls of people in a Pikachu onesie. Really hot though. You can't be in a onesie too long when you're in a warm room. It's not nice. You're too tall for your shower, says Jake. Wow, that is interesting. Do you have to like crouch to get underwater? Or you could take... Oh no, I was gonna say you could take a bath, but I bet you're too tall for the bathtub. Recently, you've been making some stories related to the deep web. Have you ever had any experiences with the deep web itself? No, I am not. I don't want to insult anyone who goes on it, but personally, I am not daft enough of my own intelligence to go on it. I've seen some ordinary gamers or Mutara go on it, and also he played the Sad Satan, which was not fixed, which is dangerous. But he also made an update video saying he is a computer security expert. He's an expert on those condoms you put on your machines to stop them getting things. I trust him to go on it, and I trust myself watching him go on it, but I would not go on it myself. Her power went out. She said she had no clue when she